often don't realize that we are the key to our own happiness, and that happiness starts with healing and transformation. Whether you need healing, guidance, clarity, understanding, or just some honest sister talk to feel connected, heard, and supported, you are welcome and safe here. So join the conversation and be healed. Welcome to Soul Healing Conversations with your host, Roz Kincaid.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Soul Healing Conversations. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you listening and being here with me. I hope you all are having a great week. So today I'm going to be sharing some reflections and insights I've had over the last few weeks. For those of us who live in the States, and really just all over the world, there has been a lot that has been happening here. And I got some thoughts on it. So I just thought I'd come and share. But before I get into that, let's get this housekeeping out of the way, of course. So if you like what you hear today and you'd like to work with me one-on-one for spiritual life coaching, if you like a psychic or mediumship reading, or if you need some Reiki energy healing, then I invite you to book a session with me at rozkincaid.com. In addition to that, I'm also running a holiday special on my services, as well as offering gift certificates at discounted prices now through the end of the year. So listen, if you need a gift for somebody, you want to give a gift to yourself, go ahead and jump on the sale. I would. If I wasn't me, I would get on it. So yeah, do that. Also, I just released some free content on my website this week. So make sure you go to rozkincaid.com to download my latest freebie called 10 Practices to Master Your Energy. A lot of what I've been getting throughout the year is that the importance of self-care. And I've seen it just personally. I've seen it at my job where, we've been in all hands meetings and people have been sharing candidly about how they feel chained to their desk, and the kids are at home and people are now having to homeschool their kids because we're all teaching, or most of us are teaching our kids virtually, and it's just a lot. And so self-care is key. Self-care is important. So I thought I would create something to help the people to implement some of those practices to relieve some of the stress and to relieve some of the pressure of all that we're dealing with right now. So check it out at my website. Also, I am going to be a guest speaker on December 7th at the Rays of Healing Church in Burke, Virginia. They are going to be having their monthly online meeting, and I have the opportunity to be their guest speaker for December. I'm so excited to have that opportunity, and I thank Alice Jones, who was a guest on my show not too long ago, or earlier this year, actually, for the opportunity to speak at the church online. Make sure you guys visit Rays of Healing Church's website. I believe it's www.raysofhealingchurch.org. Look up their meetup group, Rays of Healing Church on Meetup, and get more information on that. Again, I'm very excited for the opportunity to talk about the blessing of being, not doing. Doing pays its own dividends, but just being, just being who you are and living in your truth. Yeah, there's a greater blessing in that. And that has been one of the things that I've been learning in 2020. Just be, girl. Just be. So listen, be sure to check that out and sign up for it. It is an online event, so you can attend from anywhere. I believe that's going to be offered through Zoom. And also, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Soul Healing with Roz to stay connected and learn more about all the things that I'm doing. I recently did passed my certification test for spiritual life coaching through Life Purpose Institute. So I'm very excited to be offering clients a new style and format that's much more effective than what I've been using. And so, yeah, check it out. Get with me. Let's do this work. So listen, today in the United States is Veterans Day. And I want to take a moment to say Happy Veterans Day, and to also to all of the veterans, not just here in the States, but all over in all countries. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your choice to serve. Thank you for your sacrifice to leave your family and friends and your life to serve and protect. and just thank you for your service. It takes a man and woman of character to put their life out there on the line, whether you're out at sea, on the ground, in the air, whatever the case may be, or if you're protecting the borders of your country. We thank you. We thank you. We couldn't. What would we do without you? And especially want to thank my husband, Travis Ridley, who is an Army vet. He was in the Army for 10, 15 years. So I just want a special shout out to my hubby. All right, y'all. So this time, let's get into this. This time last year, and Spirit actually brought this to my remembrance as I was sitting down, drafting my outline for the show, just pulling some points together that I wanted to speak on. And this time last year, I was doing live Facebook videos with me and another co-host. And I initially wasn't going to share this part of my journey with me, but it came up, and I'm learning that when Spirit throws a thought into my head, that I need to listen, and I need to not be afraid or fear judgment or criticism, because what I share or what Spirit encourages me to share could help somebody else. Because believe it or not, it ain't all about us all the time. Yes, we do our work. Yes, we work through our challenges and do our shadow work, do our inner child work, all of that stuff. But the benefit of doing that work isn't just for you, right? So Spirit had me come on and wants me to share about my experience this time last year, because there was a turning point for me. And so again, this time last year, I was doing live Facebook shows a couple of times a month with a co-host. And at that point, I was also selling 2 properties to consolidate my family, my household into one property, consolidating finance, doing what was best for our lifestyle and our household. And so that meant that we needed to go from 2 properties to 1. And there was a lot of transition, a lot of change. It was very stressful at the time. I don't recommend anybody sell 2 houses at one time. If you do, get you a damn good real estate agent to help you. And so it was at that point, this time last year, where I told my co-host, hey, listen, a lot going on. I need to be focused on the family right now. And I'm going to step away from doing these shows, these live videos. We came to an agreement. Things seemed fine, although I kind of felt some energy there. Couldn't really articulate what it was, but you really don't. Energy has its own language, and I could pick up what was being put out there. And so throughout the show, at the beginning of the show, I felt like I was put on the spot a little bit. So I announced that I would be taking a step back from the show. I didn't know at what point I would be coming back. Could have been a month. It could have been, a couple months, whatever the case may be. The point was that I needed to take a break, and the people that were connected to me needed to know, including the live audience, including the co-host. So step back and focused on moving and all of that. And it was funny because in walks this opportunity with Voice America, this show, Soul Healing Conversations. And I took it, and it kind of changed everything for me. And so fast forward to the end of 2019, Christmas time, where, things are a little lighter. The pressure is off just a little bit. And I felt like I could come back. I felt like I was ready to come back. And I will say that while I was gone, now, mind you, before I say make this point, mind you, I was dealing with some jealousy at the time. Real talk. I was dealing with some jealousy, and I didn't want to feel like anybody was taking my place in a show that I created and was having a lot of fun with. So I knew that my co-host was going to be bringing on guests and things like that. But honestly, I felt the way about it. I felt the way about it, but I didn't admit it, And so I was ready to come back, and I had a conversation with my co-host, and things kind of went a little left. Things went a little left. And so I spoke to her about when I would be coming back, and then there was this exchange about, the way things were being run in my absence and people being lined up, and I didn't have an issue with that. But I found this an opportunity. Spirit was giving me an opportunity, I felt, to step into who I really was. And that meant for me to be assertive. And it's funny because today I saw on social media a random post that somebody put out. I don't even remember who it was, but it says that assertiveness is not being mean. And when I asserted myself that I was coming back, when I was coming back, and I didn't have an issue me coming back with there being guests already lined up, cool. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm coming back, and I wasn't going to allow anybody or anything to dictate to me what my choice was going to be. Now, the other person may argue that, I wasn't being respectful of, her keeping the show going, this, that, and the third, whatever. But this was a moment for me to take advantage and to really step out of somebody else's shadow. I really did feel like I was sitting in somebody else's shadow, and that was by choice. That was by my choice. Right? And so I decided to assert myself in a pleasant way. Once again, assertiveness doesn't mean you're being mean, but I asserted myself, and it didn't go over well. And that's fine, because I wasn't, my intentions were pure, and so what ended up happening is that we dismantled the show. We dismantled the Facebook page, and we ended it. And so the lesson, there were many lessons in that, is that, while I was being assertive and standing up and advocating for my, I don't want to say position, but standing up for myself and speaking up for myself, because I had not really been doing it before, as fiery and as spunky and strong as I am. I had not been speaking up before my real truth. And when I did, I got called being a bully, that I was, using bullying tactics and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, lady, come on. It wasn't like that at all. And not that I need to explain myself, but that is not at all what was going on. But I needed to step forward. I needed to make a huge step forward and speaking out and saying, no, this is not what I want to do. That was huge for me. That was huge for the people pleaser in me. That was huge for the person who, plays small to who she thinks is bigger than somebody who she thinks is bigger than her. That was huge for me to stand up and say that. Say, no, I'm not going to let this. I don't. This is not how I want this to happen. I'm not going to let this happen. Here's what I want. And for y'all listening to this, that's okay. You can do that. You can speak your truth and speak your piece, and somebody not be cool with it. That's on them. But you have to start to live in your truth, and that's what I did. At that point, I started to do it, and I'm continuing to learn how to do that. So, I'm not on here trying to bash anybody, but I'm sharing a lesson and what came up for me during that time, and the things that I've been working on. It kind of triggered some stuff. Listen. What I learned is that you cannot idolize people, especially when you're working in the spiritual community. You can't be idolizing people and putting people on pedestals, because the people that work in this community are human too. They got shit to work through too. We got stuff that is challenging us. We have shadow. We have stuff that we have to work on too. We have insecurities. We have jealousy. We have all of that stuff. We are human too. And to make the mistake of putting anybody on a pedestal is just that, a mistake. And you will be disappointed every time. And I speaking of the word disappointed, I found myself using that word a lot during that moment, during that situation. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed because I never expected for the switch to happen so quickly. It was like, well, damn. All I did was say, nah, I don't want to. All I did was kind of put my foot down. And it went in a direction that I had not expected. And so anybody, regardless of whether you're a light worker or, working in the spiritual community or a psychologist or just living your everyday regular life, stop looking at people on TV. Stop looking at people on social media and thinking that their life and their way of existing is so much better than yours, because you don't know what people had to go through to be at that point that they are now. You don't know what work people had to do or what people had to sacrifice or what even they're going through right now. Like, it might look all nice and cute on TV and social media, but when that shit gets turned off, you don't know what people are struggling with and what they're dealing with just to connect with you or to be in front or to make a video or whatever the case may be. So we have to really, or I have to really, evaluate me putting somebody on a pedestal and really idolizing people. I can remember me telling my dad that when a couple of years before he died, you're my baby. He would. I'm like, no, don't do that, because that puts pressure on people. It put pressure on me. Let me make it personal. It put pressure on me for him to say that. That's a lot of pressure, because that means you're coming to me as a source. And I can't have that. I couldn't have that type of pressure, because it felt like I needed to perform or to be perfect so that, the other person isn't let down. It's not a good look when you do that. The other major lesson in that situation for me was, again, speaking the truth in relationships, whether they be romantic, business, platonic, y'all are friends, whatever the case may be, familial, speaking the truth. And let me tell you what I know about when you get to speaking your truth. People not going to like it. Some people are just not going to like it. They are not going to like it because the security and the safety that you provided to them in whatever fashion you did, they feel that is being taken away. They you know what I'm saying? They feel that there's something there, the comfort in whatever you gave them, whether you did what they said all the time, you were codependent, whether you provided a source of counseling for them, or whatever the case may be, or a source of support, or you by how can I say, making yourself, decreasing yourself, increase them, that is now being taken away. And it's a shift and it's a change. And it causes people to really look at themselves and be aware of what needs to be fixed. And so that's the first thing. When you start to be truthful about how you feel, what you think, what you're not going to do, folks ain't going to like it. And that's just that's truth. Some people are not going to like it. And again, that is okay. That is not for you to deal with. That is not for you to worry about. You worry about what you're doing. You worry about the steps that you're taking to become better, to really live and exist and show up in the fullness of your truest and most authentic self. That is what's most important. And that's not selfish either. That's not selfish either, because when you do that, you stop being a crutch for people. Oftentimes, I get parents, clients who are parents that come in for a session, and they talk about their children and how they struggle because the kid's not doing what they think they should do, or they think they're making a mistake, and they find themselves doing everything for their child and on their ass all the time. And I'm like, well, you holding them back. Real talk. You're really holding them back, because how do you know it's not supposed to be their lesson to have that failure, to make that mistake, to make that choice? By you trying to save them all the time, or stand in the way and block things, you're really hurting the other person, because they can't grow. See, we grow from hardship. We grow from challenge. We grow from doing the work. We grow from that stuff. And when you stand in the way of somebody experiencing that, you're stunting their growth. And you're stunting yours, because you're not focused on your stuff. Yeah. So speaking the truth in relationships, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be about it. And then too, with that, I had to evaluate, why am I scared to say something? Why do I feel like I always have to do what somebody else says, or go with somebody else's idea, or feel like my thoughts and my ideas aren't good enough when they really are? It's one thing to take somebody's advice or consider another perspective and weigh it out, but it's another thing to just foolishly and blindly follow somebody. And it really, that relationship really challenged me about my self-worth. And it became more apparent to me as I followed the path of spiritual life coach and began, getting coached, practice coaching as a client myself. And then it came up, and it's like, well, what's wrong with your values? Why are you placing more value over, what you feel and think and do what you think is valuable over what somebody else is? What makes what they say they do better than the inner voice that you hear? And that's a real challenge for me, if I could be candid, even more candid. And that's something that I have to work on. And I talk to my friend, I talk to my sister about it all the time. And she's always like, girl, when you get 40, it's going to be fucking 40s. And I tell you, she is not lying, because I'm really starting to feel that's like, whatever. I'm doing me. I have lived long enough to know what's right and true and good for me. And it's not that we don't care about people, we don't value people's opinions, or, don't want to hurt people. But at the same time, we have to stop putting other people's opinions, thoughts, beliefs over our own, our value over their value over our own, if that makes sense. And so, it was also a lesson in me standing up for myself. And y'all know that, it wasn't an easy thing for me to have that moment. It wasn't an easy thing for me to stand up and say, hey, this is not what I want to do anymore. And there was some dispute, over, well, we could have had a conversation about this, or we could have had this in person. Well, I wasn't comfortable doing that. How about that? I wasn't comfortable doing that, because this is a new process for me. And don't let nobody shame you or criticize you for walking out your change or growing through a particular challenge, and in the way you do it. Maybe maybe it ain't as clean as, the other person would like it to be, but damn, you're doing it. You're changing. You're trying to challenge the beliefs. You're trying to challenge the behavior. Don't worry about how it looks, because really it comes from a good place. You're trying to be better. And it's like riding a bike for the first time. Like, you're going to fall. You're gonna, not get it right. According to your own standards, the first time you try to change a behavior, or the first time you try to speak out, or speak up for yourself, or stand up for yourself and say, nah, I'm not doing that. Might not look cute all the time. The other lesson before we go to break is knowing when to let go, when it's time to let go, so that new opportunities and new energy and new things, something different can come in. See, I think that's the reason that's one reason why a lot of us are not experiencing newness and abundance, is because we don't want to let go of shit. And I'm talking about shit as small as cleaning out your damn closet and getting rid of the clutter that's sitting on the back of your counters, piled all the way high, cleaning out your refrigerator, cleaning up boxes. And I'm raising my hand now, because we've been in this house going it'll be a year in February, and God knows we still got boxes laying around. We need to get this shit cleaned up. Like, seriously. It is time to let go of the old way of thinking, the old way of believing, the old energy, the old people that ain't doing shit, that ain't, trying to progress, that's not trying to do good, do better, be better. It's time to let go of the old so that new things can come in. And listen, with that, your timeline is not God's timeline. Now, again, God, he's God to me. He can be universe, spirit, whatever to you, but I refer to source as God. I'm going to stop saying that, because by this time, people who listen all the time will know. So your timeline and his timeline are not the same. And when God said, okay, it's time to cut this off, it's time to shut it down, it's really time for you to shut it down. No, it is not going to feel good sometimes. Yes, it's going to be scary. But I guarantee you keep holding on to old stuff, you're not going to receive new stuff. You can't, you're not going to be able to fit new wine in old wineskins, according to the Bible. So listen, you guys, I need to take a quick break. I'll be right back with more reflections and insights after this.
You have a passion, and from that passion, you've created a business. But how do you market and grow that business? Hi, I'm Emily of Shine Coaching and Consulting. I specialize in brand identity, website design, marketing consulting, and business coaching. I create a visual expression of my clients' ideas and help them develop a business strategy to meet their goals. Connect with me today at shinecoachingandconsulting.com. Be inspired, be real, be you.
The Voice America Live Events channel is here now to showcase your corporate, individual, or organization's live event. Visit voiceamerica.com/live events to see all of our past live events and find out more. Whether it's a multi-day conference, special speaker, or single-day event, we've got everything to make your event a success. We can do a few hours or a few days. For more information about taking your event to the next level, call Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or email info@voiceamerica.com. Again, that's Jeff Spinard at 480-294-6417 or send us an email to info@voiceamerica.com. Voice America is where you are and where you want to be. Join us around the globe as we broadcast live from some of the most interesting events available. Don't forget to view all our live events, including on-demand access to past events that you may have missed by visiting voiceamerica.com/live events.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all of our show archives on demand, all from your iOS, Amazon Kindle, or Android device. Download it from the Apple App Store, Amazon, or Google Play, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America mobile app, powered by Aircast.
You are tuned in to Soul Healing Conversations. If you would like to reach Roz Kincaid or her guest today, please call into the program at 1-866-472-5788. That's 1-866-472-5788. You may also send an email to hello@rozkincaid.com. Now, back to Soul Healing Conversations.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Roz Kincaid, and today I'm just sharing some thoughts and reflections and insights I've had over the past few months and weeks. And before the break, I was talking about, what was that? Oh, letting go of old and allowing the new to come in, and your timeline not being spirit or the universe or God's timeline. And when it's time to let it go, it's time to let it go. I think I better let it go. Let it go. Yes, it is time to let go. People, things, stuff, ideas, ideologies, shit that ain't working no more. Or things that have run its course. Friendships that have run its course. Matter of fact, Dr. Nicole LaPera, which, by the way, if let me say this, on this public platform, and then I'm going to share with y'all what I saw from Dr. The holistic psychologist. If you have beef with Dr. Nicole LaPera, please do not come on my social media pages talking to me about it and how I need not follow the lady or support her or whatever. Please take that up with Dr. Nicole LaPera at The Holistic Psychologist. Okay? Thank you. So I saw a post from Dr. Nicole LaPera this week. Actually, it was a text because if you're in her self-healers group, you get personal texts from her. And one of the texts talked about how, when friendships end, that is okay. And sometimes friendships just run their course. And, you don't have to, she says just because a relationship ends doesn't mean it failed. It succeeded in teaching you what you needed to learn. And for a long time, because this actually happened to me a couple of years ago, where I was very close friends with somebody and they just ghosted me. And I'm like, well, damn, what'd I do? And even to this day, I don't have an explanation as to why that friendship ended. And when I saw her text, and I'll read it again, just because a relationship ends doesn't mean it failed. Or that you failed. It succeeded in teaching you what you needed to learn. And child, when I saw that, it set me free because it liberated me to not hold on to any poor self-worth or any idea that I had done something wrong in the friendship, because I knew I was a good friend. I knew I supported my friend, and I knew I spoke up about things in the friendship that I didn't like and needed. And all of a sudden it just went poof without any, explanation or anything. And today I feel good about where it is. And I'm going to leave it where it is. I'm going to let sleeping dogs lie and just move and keep moving on. I'm going to keep keeping on. But anyway, I also have some things to share about this year's U.S. presidential race. I think that there are some key things that we might want to be aware of. And this is just for me. I'm speaking for me. If you agree with it, cool. If you don't, that's fine too. But there are some reasons for Donald Trump being our president. So prior to him getting into office, yes, there was racism. Yes, there was police brutality and murder, injustice, all of that. But that stuff was, I feel, at a low boil, right? And it wasn't ripe yet. And I feel like there's still more to come with all of that. And for those people who thought that racism did not exist up until this point, y'all got a wake up call. We all got a wake up call, because there are some of us who knew that racism was still very prominent in the world. And I really do. And I sat and thought about this, and I meditated on this, and I've had conversation after conversation where I've heard other people say this as confirmation that Donald Trump was given to us, if you will, as an agent to draw out the darkness. Right? So it's like when you get bit by a snake, you got to draw that poison out some kind of way. Or you need something to siphon it out, or just to draw it out, because without you knowing that darkness exists in certain places, you just kind of live your life on autopilot, unawake. See, we all got a whole awakening these last 4 years. And again, if y'all thought the Klan was dead, the Proud Boys, all of these racial groups, if y'all thought that they was just sleeping, wrong. If y'all thought that racism against people of color was dead, or just, silent or handled, And I really do feel like God is saying, look at the dark places. It's like spraying luminol on a crime scene. Like you can't see where the blood is when you spray the luminol and the lights on. You turn them lights off and make it real dark. Oh, you're going to see the luminol illuminated. And that is what Donald Trump has done for America. Now, mind you, I have my own opinions about the man, and they will remain my own. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to help you all understand that's not the word I want to use. I don't want to say benefit, but what he is here for. What part of what he is here for. See, God will use anybody. Spirit will use anybody, anything to bring about change, to bring about balance, to bring about harmony, to bring about love, to bring about peace. And sometimes he's going to have to disturb the peace, what you think is peace, to bring about real peace. And sometimes people use their peace to do it. So yes, I would say as much as polarizing as Donald Trump and as much as he's hated, let's be real, he has been useful in exposing a lot of things that we have either turned a blind eye to or thought was over or didn't exist. People's true values, people's true colors have come out, and God is saying, okay, look, here's what the truth is. Masks off, lights totally on. Now what? Now what you gonna do? This is a time for us to reevaluate our values and to reevaluate our beliefs. You know what? And I did an episode on this. What do you truly believe? What is truly valuable to you? Whose life and whose life is valuable to you? What do you really stand for? And if it's something that you don't stand for, why are you hiding it? Why are you hiding it? Why are you playing like you down for the cause when you really not? You don't have to hide anymore. The lights are on. They will continue to stay on. And if nothing else, I'm glad Donald Trump came through here and exposed some stuff, because we need to know the truth in its fullness of what we dealing with. Because if you don't know what you're dealing with, you can't devise a plan on how to fix it, to heal it, to eradicate it. We needed this to happen. You needed this to happen in your life, because there's some people that you've been associating with and some people that you've been connected to, and they don't like you. And it ain't even about liking. You are totally on a different frequency than somebody else. And associating with certain groups, people, ideas, beliefs, perspectives could be the very thing that's blocking you. And we got to get real and open up our eyes about what that is. You got to make some judgment calls on some of these relationships, man. Let me tell you what, Facebook been lit this whole year. Like, damn, I ain't know they felt like that. I thought we was cool. Well, maybe you are, maybe not. Truths being exposed. Again, people's true colors are coming out. Within the Black community, within the white community, everywhere. Juanika Dunn came on here, aka Miss Astrology, came on here, and she said we are going to see a lot of truths being exposed. And damn it, here we are. When I looked at the electoral map of the U.S. presidential race last week and saw all of that red, it hit me, y'all. It hit me that, damn, there are more people out here in this country than what I thought who believe that racism is okay, who believe that microaggressions are okay, who believe that calling the police falsely on somebody is okay, who believe that sexism and being a fascist is okay, who believe that misogyny is okay, who believe that a lot of things are okay that are not okay. And we got to clean this up. And it's not just the senators. It's not just the governors. It's not just your attorney generals. It's not just the president and his cabinet. It's not just the president-elect's and Madam Vice President's responsibility to clean this shit up. It's us. We got to start at home. You ever heard of the saying, charity starts at home? Well, healing starts at home too. Cleaning up what you messed up, or cleaning up what doesn't work starts at home too. And then that gets pushed out in our communities and into the world and on and on and on. Like it's a domino effect. It's the butterfly effect is what I like to call it. We have things to change. We have work to do. This presidential race has opened up wounds, and rightfully so. The shit we've been dealing with hurts. The way you are being hurts. I'm talking about everybody of every color, on a personal level and a collective level. The way we've been doing things have been hurtful to ourselves, to other people, to the earth. And God ain't happy about it. And so he had to send somebody through here to shake shit up so that there could be change, so that there could be healing. President-elect Joe Biden, when he spoke over last week, it is time to heal. We got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to do. But don't be discouraged about the amount that needs to be done. You do what you can, step by step. But you're going to need to wake up first and see this light and see where all the dark places. You have to be honest with yourself. So let's talk about coronavirus, because there's some lessons there as well. This ain't no coincidence. I am not disillusioned to believe that things happen at random. But nothing happens. There are no coincidences. Okay, I just don't believe there are no coincidences. Not anymore. And coronavirus sweeping through the planet the way it has, and it causing a drastic shutdown the way that it has. And I understand some of y'all in some of these other countries have gone back into shutdown. God be with you. Please take care of yourselves. Please follow your government's guidelines and advisements. Please stay safe. Don't be no fool. And so with this what I have found in my time of reflection is that this coronavirus has caused us to look at how do you value your health? How do you really value your health? How have you really been taking care of yourself? Because I'm telling y'all that if you don't take care of your body, it's not going to take care of you. And it will let you know when it needs to be taken care of. And when you neglect it, it will shut down. And I'm talking about not just eating well, drinking plenty of water, rest and exercise, but the quality of food that you're putting in your body, the quality of energy that you're absorbing into your own personal energy field. You know, the things that you agree with and you don't agree with, the thoughts that you entangle with, that become habits, that become behaviors, all of that. Once again, I mentioned, lots of people working from home right now. Kids are not in school. Many kids are not in school right now. And things are just off. It's been hard. Families, I don't know, just the dynamics have been off. But again, I think that one of the biggest insights with coronavirus and COVID-19 is, where do you need to create balance? I had, this came up for me personally. I'll just use myself as an example because nobody else is here for me to share it with. So where do you need to create balance? What feels too heavy, too overwhelming, too much, disruptive? Where is your peace disturbed? Is it in your finances? Is it in the time that you spend with your family? Are you allowing yourself to be chained to your desk for more than 8 hours without a break? Are you doing too much? Because I know I was. I still am, but I'm working on it. Are you doing too much? Do you really need to be doing all the things that you're doing? Because at some point, this circus is going to end. This act, or this whatever it is that you've been playing, not the magician, but the whatever the thing is that's got all the plates spinning in the air, those gonna stop spitting at some point. And all the plates are gonna come crashing down. You know, how many balls can you juggle in the air? You know, how many things can you keep in the air and keep managing before you break down yourself? Because you are no good to your family if you're not good. If you're not taking the time to create balance, if you're spending too much money in some areas and not saving enough right now. And I understand, you know, people's income has drastically changed because, you know, things have been shut down and we're, you know, socially restricted a bit and, you know, people just still not comfortable coming out or whatever. I know I felt it in my own household with my husband. He's a barber. I mean, yeah, people are coming to get their heads cut, but not like they used to. You know, y'all need to, but that's another conversation for another day. Things are different now. And so now, you know, the brakes have been slammed on. And where do you need to put in balance? What load do you need to unload? What baggage are you carrying around? You know, this coronavirus has caused us to really look at our priorities. What is really important? Is it important for me to be in 5 meetings every day? No, it ain't. I don't need to be at that meeting. I do not need to be working like this. So if nothing else, what changes need to be made? You know, even look at our educational system. I know for me, there are family members who are in high school or in school who have thrived without the social interaction and being online. I know kids in my family who need the social interaction. Maybe we need to take a look at our educational systems and make some changes. Maybe these kids don't have learning disabilities. Maybe your kid, you know, ain't on the spectrum. You know, take this time to simplify your life before things get crunk again. before the world starts spinning the way it used to. Simplify your life. Where can you cut the fat? Where can you cut some of the spending? You know, where do you need to shift some of your thinking? Do you need to get a divorce? Like, I'm asking all the questions. Do you need to get a divorce, or do you just need to work on your stuff? Where can you bring in more peace? I know for me, listen, up until this year, I've never had a 3-year-old before. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with this girl, but I've got to figure some things out, and having her challenge me has caused me to look at myself and my own wounding. Maybe you need to slow down and look at some of that stuff, but either way, you have got to slow down. Let this coronavirus, be safe in it, but allow what it's meant to do have its way for you to really slow down, to be with your family, to be with yourself, get to know yourself, get to figure out why you hung up on some of the things you hung up on, why you can't move past some of the things you can't move past. Because I'm telling you, when things pick up again, you would want to not have to be dealing with these things when it's go time. Do a little work, y'all. Like, there's a gift in all of this. As horrible and as many people who have died from coronavirus, there's lessons to be learned. There's a gift for us who are still here dealing with it. Find the light in it. Find the value in it, because there is value in it. So listen, I'm out of time for today. I appreciate you guys letting me share my thoughts and reflections. Share your thoughts about today's episode and where you're at right now with everything going on at Soul Healing with Roz. You can also find out more about what I'm doing and get more free content there on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to visit my website to download my tips for managing your energy. You guys meet me back here next Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific for another episode. Until next time, please be safe. COVID-19 is back on the rise. So is strep throat and the cold and flu and everything else out here and cooties. Stay connected, you guys, and keep doing the work to heal and transform. Much love, y'all. Bye.
Thank you again for listening to Soul Healing Conversations. Please join Roz Kincaid again for another program next Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Variety Channel. We'll talk again next week.